Some brands grow, a few rise like the Himalayas. Meet Miss Padma Bhat, the creative force leading innovation and design across all business verticals at Himalaya. A graduate of MICA, she began her career in advertising, shaping Indian and global brands before bringing her strategic vision to Himalaya. Over 2 decades, she has been central to the brand's evolution, from the iconic Neem face wash campaign to building distinct identities across categories, all rooted in Himalaya's core values. For Padma, branding isn't just about design, it's about purpose. A people-first leader, she believes enduring brands are built by strong teams and bold ideas. Creativity with clarity, innovation with impact. Let's build it up for Miss Padma Bhat. Good health doesn't happen by accident. It happens by understanding. And today, we welcome someone who has dedicated himself to exactly that, Mr. Prashant Desai. A passionate health educator, he has studied at Harvard Medical School and the Stanford School of Medicine and learned from leading preventive health experts like Dr. Andy Galpin and Dr. Lane Norton. His focus areas include nutrition science, exercise physiology, gut health, and the microbiome. And he actively shares science-backed insights through social media and global conferences on nutrition, exercise, and sleep. And here's the fun twist. He's also a CA and CMA with over 30 years in financial markets, bringing analytical precision into the world of health. Insightful, disciplined, science-driven. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Prashant Desai.
The chairperson for our next session is Ms. Saloni Garg, Director of Branding at Medicaps University. I request Ms. Saloni to kindly escort to the stage Mr. Prashant Desai, MD, Everstone Group and an Indian health educator, and Ms. Padma Bhat, Head of Innovation and Design at Himalaya Wellness Company. We are delighted to have you with us today, sir and ma'am. Thank you. I now request Mr. Vivek Kushwa, Director, IBMR IPS, to kindly welcome Mr. Prashant with a floral bouquet. I would also like to call Dr. Suyash Chavar, Suyash Chavar, Principal of IMR, to welcome Mr. Prashant with a memento for our deep appreciation. I invite Dr. Pallavi Joshi Kapuria, Head of Industry Interface Cell at Prestige deemed to be a university, to present Ms. Padma with flowers. I also request Mr. Ravinder Bhandari, Manufacturing Engineering Head of John Deere India Private Limited, to present our memento to Ms. Padma. Thank you, sirs and ma'am.
Thank you, Rachita, for the introduction. I now request Prashant sir to please go ahead and, and charm all of us with your presentation.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. We've been given a tough task, Padma. Everybody's waiting for lunch, and we are delaying that. So we'll try and ensure that we finish fast. Some help with the AV. I can't seem to get my presentation here. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Thank you. Yeah. So this is who I am. This is what you see on the screen. But this is not who I was close to about 12 years back. 12 years back, my belief was very different. I believed we have one life. And like a lot of us, I used to think live life king size. What that did to me was that I made two big goals 12 years back. Goal number one, make a lot more money at all costs. And goal number two, eat as much as I can. I come from Bombay. ऐसी कोई सड़क नहीं थी जहाँ से ये प्रशांत देसाई गुजरता था और उसने एक वड़ा पाव, सेव पूरी, कांदा भजिया, कोक, कुछ न कुछ तो मैं खाता था और पीता था. The result was very interesting. 12 years back, I used to weigh 100 kgs. I was severely diabetic, so obese, diabetic. My blood pressure was like Abhishek Sharma's sixes, and my lipid profile was all over the place, the way Pakistan is playing their cricket. The result of that was I was a living time bomb, and something needed to change in my life, and something did change. 12 years and 1 day back, I lost my brother, my closest friend. He was just 35. His daughter, just 2 years old. And I guess I needed that jerk, that trigger to realize that now I have to live for both our daughters. 12 years, 1 day back, a lot of things changed. And that's the story I will present to you today. I realized I need to live for both our daughters, but I did not know how to live longer. And that's where my journey of discovery began. From books, it took me to the US, meet up with a lot of gerontologists, the leading scientists. It took me to Stanford, it took me to Harvard. I did my courses from there. Also did a lot of training sessions with some of the best minds in the world, Dr. Peter Attia, Lane Norton, Andy Galpin. From all of that, what I gathered was something very, very interesting and something very, very beautiful. And to that, I want to pay tribute to this wonderful city of Indore. Today, Indore is the most cleanest city in India. And not by fluke, it's remained the cleanest city in India for the last 7 years. But reflect back 7, 8, 10 years back, what did Indore do? If it had to remain the cleanest city, it had to do two things. First, it had to ensure that whatever dirt, garbage was there, it had to get rid of that. And second thing it had to do was to ensure that it didn't put more garbage on its street. My health learnings from all these people was identical. If I had to live longer for both our daughters, I had to first clean all the junk I had fed my body for the last 42 years. And second thing I had to ensure was that I don't put more junk into my body. A lot of that led to one more change. 12 years back, I used to think we have one life. Today I say we have one body, That one change in belief from we have one life, live life king size, to I have one body, protect it like a temple. The moment my belief changed, my behavior also changed. But something very interesting also happened over the last 12 years. I used to tell people, and I also started like this, right? That I want to live longer for both my daughters or for both our daughters. The belief change that has happened now over the last 12 years is, I now want to live longer with both my daughters. Because when I look at my last 12 years, some of the most happiest moment for me have been the time that I have spent with my daughters. It's great when you create memories, then when you be part of memories. Both are two different things. And that is the big change that happened in my life. My objective defined that I want to live longer with my daughters and also want to live healthiest. The question then came, how? My strategy was very simple. That if I have to live longer, I have to ensure only one thing, that I don't die early. Being an equity research analyst at some point of time in my life, I started thinking and started looking at data. And the first data that I looked at is, if I don't want to die early, how are we Indians dying today? And that led me to a very, very phenomenal discovery. I want to do one exercise with you, either to your left or to your right or in your front or behind you. Just count the fourth person that your eyes go to. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just look at that person. That person is going to die of heart attack or stroke. 1 in 4 Indians die of heart attack or stroke. Just look at the person next to him or her. That person will die of an organ failure. 20% Indians die because of that. Just look at the person next to him or her. That person most likely will die of cancer. One more person to the left, very high chances the person will die of either Alzheimer's or of a fall. That is how we Indians are dying. These are your top 4 killers: heart attack and stroke, organ failure, cancer, Alzheimer's, fall. When I did this exercise myself, I realized something very interesting. That very, very high chances, I am going to die of heart attack. I lost my father when I was 7 to a disease of heart. I lost my brother at 35 to a disease of heart. A very simple exercise of taking family history of both my parents and both my dada, dadi, nana, nani, how they died, gave me that data. Now that I know that I am very likely to die of a heart attack or stroke, it's a magic weapon that I have. Now I will do everything possible within me to ensure that I can delay that. This table exactly demonstrates that. But this table also demonstrates one more thing, which is very important. What do you see in this table? With age, your risk of dying goes up. And that is something we all have to recognize. Somebody over here in their 20s and somebody over here in their 60s, the risk of dying early, who will die early? The guy who's in 60. Hence, who needs to be more careful today if you want to live longer? The guy who is on his 60. So realize this, that when it comes to living longer and healthier, age is the biggest non-modifiable risk factor. You can't do anything about it. Then what can you do? There are 4 modifiable factors. Things that we Indians think is a condition. These are not conditions, these are diseases. India today has 46 crore pre and diabetics. 46 crore, that's 1.5 times the population of US. We have 60 crore overweight and obese people. 2 times the size of US. 70% of India has hypertension. And almost 60% of India's lipid profile is like mine. These are all accelerators. If you look at the average life expectancy in India, it's 70 years. And yet each one of us will know someone who's currently 80. We'll also know of someone who's died at 50. What is the difference between somebody living till 80, 85 and somebody dying early? It is these four parameters. If you are a diabetic, you have a 200% higher risk of heart attack and stroke. If you are obese, today obesity is the second cause for cancer, number one being smoking. Obesity is linked to 13 different types of cancer. So if you are obese, you will not only die early, but your quality of life will also be very, very bad. One extra kg of weight that you put on your body, when you walk, puts 4 kg extra pressure on your knees. When you run, it puts 8 kg extra. When I was 100 kgs, I was 30 kg overweight. Every step I took was 120 kgs of pressure on my knees. Great thing about these four things are they are on a spectrum. It's like a line. If you would have seen that serial, Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi. It's like that. क्योंकि डायबिटिक भी पहले कभी प्री डायबिटिक था और कभी प्री डायबिटिक भी पहले नॉर्मल था. We are not born fat. We get fat. It's a spectrum. Which means if you can understand what that spectrum is, what that trend is, you can figure out what you can do. A lot of people ask me, how do I define health? At a philosophical level, 3 things: physical health, cognitive health, and of course, emotional health. But if I put it in numbers, these are 5 things that should be on everybody's dashboard. Your fasting blood glucose, which is an indicative on a spectrum of how soon will you get pre-diabetic or diabetic. Your waist circumference. When you measure your waist, measure from the belly. Measure. For women, if it is more than 34, you have a problem. For men, if it is more than 36, there's an error here, you have a problem. One other easy way to do, when you get up from this session, just look down straight. If you can see your entire feet, you are in good. If you can't, you have a problem. Third, blood pressure. High blood pressure is a silent killer because it has no symptoms. 70% people sitting on this hall have hypertension, but they don't know. If you have low blood pressure, you will know. High, you don't. High blood pressure is the pressure with which the blood is pouring through your blood vessels, making your endothelial weak. If your endothelial weak, the process of atherosclerosis accelerates. The same thing happens when you smoke. Fourth, higher triglycerides. Triglycerides is a science way of saying higher fats. This is higher fat circulating in your blood vessel. Where did that extra fat come from? You put on so much of weight that the body now does not have a place to store the fat. So it is releasing it in your blood vessels. And last, your HDL cholesterol. HDL cholesterol cleans up all the higher LDL cholesterol. So if you continuously measure every 6 months these 5 parameters, like a stock market, you will see a trend. If it is going up, unlike the stock market, you don't want that. If it is going down, again, unlike the stock market, you want that. So in that spectrum, if you realize, then do something about it. But what can you do about it? I have my genes framework. We will now move to tactics. The first thing all of you need to do is this. It's free. Just sleep for 7 to 9 hours. That's all. I'm not asking for more. You don't have to make any effort. Because when you undersleep, every part of your body deteriorates. When you are sleeping, we sleep in cycles. The first phase we have light and deep sleep, where all your memory consolidation happens. This is also the time when the cleaning of your brain happens, your immunity gets a complete reset when you are in the first phase of sleep. Your entire metabolic health gets a overall. Dalai Lama has said, sleep is the best meditation. Your blood pressure comes down. Your heart is beating like this because when you are awake, it's beating like this. Every single parameter gets a massive boost. And when you undersleep, every single parameter will get worsen off. An experiment was done at Stanford by Dr. Matt Walker. He made two groups of people. One, he made them sleep for 8 hours, one for 4.5 hours. Only for 2 weeks. Those that slept for 5.5 hours for 2 weeks, these were 20-year-old young individuals in prime of their health. From normal became pre-diabetic in 2 weeks' time. That's the impact sleep does. How many of you think you sleep well here? No, we don't. Because science's definition of sleep is different than your and mine. Good sleep consists of 4 things. First, quantity of sleep. If you are not sleeping for 7 to 9 hours, you are not sleeping. It's not good sleep. Second, consistency. You think Monday to Friday I will not sleep, Saturday, Sunday I will sleep more. There is only one debt that you cannot repay, that is your sleep debt. So even if you are sleeping one of days for 8 hours, doesn't mean anything. Consistently are you sleeping? 3, quality of sleep. How much NREM sleep, how much REM sleep? How much deep sleep, the first phase, how much second? And how are you sleeping? Are you sleeping as per your chronotype? Lot of people are morning people, they need to sleep between 8 and 10. Lot of people are evening people, they need to sleep between 12 and 2. And lot of people are in between. How do you know? Google, meq.com, 19 questions, answer the questions, you will know what chronotype you are. You get your sleep chronotype from your parents. There are 9 genes that tell you when to sleep. And you can't change it. But if you know this is your chronotype, you can at least make some modification. How do you land your sleep plane safely? I'll give you, there are a lot of things to talk about, 20 minutes I can't. I will give you 4 things. Sleep dark. Your room needs to be dark. Sleep cold. 18 to 20 degrees temperature, because when you sleep, your body temperature needs to come down. In a cold room, your body core temperature will come down. Sleep hungry. Eat your dinner 2 to 3 hours before your sleep. And sleep thirsty. Don't drink too much water between your dinner and your sleep, because otherwise you'll have to go to urinate. There are a lot of other things you can do to sleep. Next, we will all need to move. This is one of the most phenomenal paper that I read, JAMA 2018 paper, where for the first time they demonstrate why sitting is the new smoking. Look at the first one, smoking. You see something called as the hazard ratio 41, 1.41 means. Compared to a non-smoker, a smoker has a 41% risk of dying in the next 12 months from any cause. When you go down below and you see somebody who is completely sedentary, who has never moved in his life, completely couch potato, compare him to somebody who just moves for 30 minutes a day, who exercises 30 minutes a day, the hazard ratio is 95. Means from somebody who is just little bit active, 30 minutes a day, to somebody who is completely inactive, his risk of dying can reduce by 50% by just giving 30 minutes of exercise. Very important chart for people who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s. After 30, you cannot build muscle. There will be decline. Your muscle mass declines by 1% every year. Your muscle strength declines 3 times faster. And your muscle power declines 8 times faster. All you can do is slow down the decline. For women, even more important. For women, this decline is even more faster because they hit something called as menopause. Why do arthritis and osteoporosis impact 70% in women? Because the moment you hit menopause, your estrogen, your progesterone are zero. You are running a car with zero petrol. It will impact your bone mineral density. What can you do? Please lift heavy. Please go to the gym. That's the only insurance you can buy to slow down this decline. Otherwise, you will have a challenge. Nutrition, I can do a 8-hour session on nutrition. But be all and end all of nutrition, if there is one thing, that song in Pyasa, lakh dukho ki ek dawa hai, kyun na ajmaye. Only one medicine, eat less. From whatever you are eating, start eating 10 to 20% less from tomorrow. Why? Law of thermodynamics. In food, we have chemical energy. When we eat, it gets converted into electrical energy. Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. All that excess calories will get converted into your body as fat. Can't help it. All the 4 accelerators we spoke, all get further accelerated when you eat more. Which is why in our Vedas it is written, the definition of an intelligent person is one who knows when to stop eating. That's the definition. My time is up. I'll take 30 more seconds. Measure yourself. Again, you will know where you are on the spectrum. Week after week, if you are gaining weight, start eating even lesser. I also wanted to talk about stress. Big picture on stress part about it, because you must be hearing, fit tha, gym gaya, collapse ho gaya suddenly, 40-year-old, 50-year-old. Stress plays a very important role. Only one statistics I will say, whenever you experience stress, the burden of that stress goes to your heart. Your heart takes all the damage when you are under stress. In olden times, stress was physical. You are in front of a tiger, you need to run. Today, that physical stress has become physiological and psychological. But your mechanism is still evolutionary. All the heavy lifting will shift to the heart. It will need to pump more blood. More blood will enter the heart in a very forceful manner. Your body will shut down every other thing that it needs to do, including reproduction. People who have stress, going forward, will have a very pathetic sex life. They will have premature ejaculation problem, erectile dysfunction. Women will also have a similar problem, all because of stress. But most importantly, every time your heart is taking extra pressure, you know what is happening. Very easy way to deal with stress. Just read this slide. It's not worth it. Just tell yourself that. In all the tactics that I discussed, nothing more important than this. This is the foundation. Sorry, I was told to compress 12 years in 20 minutes. That's the best I can do. Sorry, I took a minute more. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. May I now please request Padma ma'am to share her core and belief about a legacy brand and how she's managed to do that through these years.
Prashant, there's only one thing I'm really happy about. When I spoke to a lot of people and I said I'm traveling to Indore, they said you must go to Sarafa, you must eat at Chapan. I landed late last night. I'm so happy I did not. I had a healthy meal. I slept 7 hours. I woke up in the morning and went to the gym, and I'm very glad I did that. Respected delegates, leaders of the IMA board, members of the IMA committee, respected ladies and gentlemen, and my dearest students, namaste, and wish you all a very warm good afternoon. Thank you so much for inviting me to the 33rd IMA Conclave. It's indeed an honor and a privilege for me to be here today. I must thank the IMA committee and board for your hospitality. It's been overwhelming. Thank you. It's also very humbling today to be here and tell a story that I'm most passionate about, and to represent Himalaya Wellness Company and brand Himalaya. India is indeed poised for greatness, stepping into its next. According to the latest IMF outlook, in 2026, India is going to be the 4th largest economy in the world, surpassing Japan. In 2028, we'll rise to position 3 ahead of Germany. And in 2048, ladies and gentlemen, our India is going to become the 2nd largest economy in the world, surpassing China. So, next slide. Okay, I have it here. So when we talk about innovating India, our strength lies not in having to choose between ancient wisdom and modern science, but having the courage to bring them together with purpose and with responsibility. Fusion is the future. It is going to be the future. It is about creating a harmonious blend between ancient Ayurvedic wisdom and modern science. It's about embracing hybrid and integrative processes. We're already leading the shift. India has the knowledge, we have the biodiversity, we have the scientific capability and the cultural confidence to lead this new model of innovation. Vastu Shastra. This was a science that was earlier used only for the building of temples and sacred places. Most people dismissed it as a superstitious belief. Today, you see architects, engineers, designers who are trying to study this science and apply it to modern environments. These principles, one moment. Now, why are they doing this? They're doing it for better lighting. They're doing it for spatial harmony, because it's these places like corporate offices, museums, hospitals, schools, where innovation is born. Another very powerful example of fusion is the coming together of the Vedas with modern sustainability. The Vedas have always taught us to respect nature, to be mindful about consumption, and to keep in mind the ecological balance. A beautiful illustration of this is a Dravya Sangrahana, which is on the slide, which talks about responsible sourcing, what to harvest, when to harvest, and most importantly, to ensure that nature is never depleted. Today, these very principles are actually being adopted by organizations like the United Nations. Concepts like sustainability, ethical sourcing, circularity are now global priorities. For me, one of the most exciting forms of innovation is coming together of ancient wisdom and advanced scientific technology. With advances in genomics, data analytics, and digital health, we now are able to measure with precision and take Ayurveda to the next level. And this makes our products globally credible. Himalaya is rooted in Swadeshi. We're an Indian multinational that is present across 100 countries. Ever since our inception in 1930, we've strived to bring and incorporate the wisdom of Ayurveda, scientifically validating it to create contemporary products, reimagining wellness for people, for pets, and for animals in the world that we live in today, with purpose and with responsibility. We have a very noble purpose, and that is a promise of spreading wellness in every home, happiness in every heart. It's not a modern concept. It's deep-rooted in the ancient Shanti mantra, which reflects well-being, harmony, and collective prosperity. Let's take a look at the Himalaya journey. Video, please.
Mr. M. Manal saw a man feeding some agitated elephants the roots of an herb, which calmed them down. He became curious, and after scientific evaluation, discovered that the herb, Rauwolfia serpentina, possessed anti-hypertensive properties. We opened our first establishment in Dehradun, at the foothills of the Himalayas. Determined to bring nature's healing power to people, Mr. Manal tirelessly spent nights punching tablets on his hand-cranked tableting machine. His mother pawned her gold bangles to help establish the business, leading to the launch of Serpina, the world's first natural anti-hypertensive drug. In 1943, we launched a breakthrough product, Cystone, for managing kidney stones. Less than a decade later, in 1955, we introduced Live 52, a hepatoprotective, which went on to become our flagship brand. As we grew, we didn't focus on just adding new products to the shelves. Instead, we strengthened our foothold in R&D as an evidence-based herbal brand. A decade later, we scaled up our capabilities by partially shifting our manufacturing operations to Markali, near Bengaluru. With a dedicated and growing team of over 275 research scientists, we've stayed true to our commitment to research. In the early 1990s, we stepped up our research-based efforts by setting up a world-class R&D center in Bengaluru. Our success in healthcare witnessed a new horizon as our first international office opened in Houston, Texas in 1996. The same year, we opened our first exclusive retail store, Store One, in Cayman Islands to provide effective wellness solutions. In 1998, we introduced a range of products to help farmers improve the health of their animals. We've always focused on listening to and fulfilling our customers' needs. Which is why, when customers walked into Store One in Cayman looking for lotions and shampoos, we introduced personal care products. We also brought the best of nature to pets with the launch of our companion care range. The turn of the century marked the beginning of a rapid transformation and bigger milestones. We set up our Dubai office and became the first Indian pharmaceutical company to be registered with the UAE's Ministry of Health. Over the next decade, we established our presence across geographies and product categories, in addition to strengthening our research foothold. We introduced Purifying Neem Face Wash, the go-to skincare companion for teens and adults alike. We took strides towards growth, evolving into a wellness brand with single herb formulations called Pure Herbs. In 2004, we introduced our baby care products, offering gentle and safe care for babies. 2009 was a significant year for us. We introduced 2 different product categories in the United States, Botanic, an assortment of oral and personal care products, and a supplement range. In 2021, we celebrated 25 years in Cayman by opening Himalaya House, home to our parent Himalaya Global Holdings Limited and our largest retail store. 2022 marked a year of new beginnings for us. We set up a brand new manufacturing facility in Tumkuru, 75 kilometers outside Bengaluru. The same year, we established the Himalaya Global Research Center facility at Dubai Science Park. Throughout our journey, we've been committed to fulfilling our mission of bringing wellness in every home and happiness in every heart. With initiatives like Kisan Mitra or Farmer's Friend, which celebrates Himalaya's connection with farmers, conservation of diversity, and our reliance on sustainable energy sources, we've reduced our carbon footprint one step at a time. From the forests surrounding Dehradun to serving people in over 100 countries, we've come a long way. We're continuing to realize our aim of making wellness a part of every home and happiness a part of every heart. As we inch closer to a century of delivering on our promise, we'll continue fulfilling our vision of bringing wellness and joy to every home through herbal solutions based on science.
Driven by Swabhavik, our products and our packaging is a reflection of our true nature and our values. Our packaging is the visual soul of Himalaya. Natural, authentic, and credible. Let me just walk you through 3 examples on what goes behind the designing of a pack. So we launched Neem Face Wash in 2001, and ever since the launch, Himalaya Purifying Neem Face Wash is the go-to face wash for consumers for pimple solutions. Over the years, the pimple consumer has constantly evolved. And with her, so has her neem pack. So if you look at this slide, I've placed all the packs right from the launch of Neem Face Wash in 2001 to the latest pack that we have launched in 2025. We've approximately restaged it every 5 years. But there's one thing in common. Every restage elevates our story of purity and naturalness. And that's at the core. So it's important to go to consumers and ask them what they think about us, right? And these are the 6 key attributes that they played up. That they trust the brand, it's efficacious, it cares for their skin, it's honest and transparent. Now, when we probed, we understood that we're one of the few neem face washes that actually has a transparent window through which you can see the product. And they decoded that as honesty and transparency, safety and protection. And this is the art of, storytelling, right? Every element on the pack must play a crucial role in adding up to the overall brand story. So as India's #1 face wash, which is trusted by 3 million consumers, Himalaya uses the pack for 3 things largely. It's establishing category leadership, credibility, and authenticity. There are approximately 200 odd neem face wash brands in the market, right? And it was important for us to have a distinct identity for Himalaya. And we looked at this not merely as design, but as a strategic brand asset. Now you see the neem leaf on the pack? It's not a stock image. It's not a vector. It's an actual leaf that is plucked from the neem tree. I've shot it on my phone, and we've enhanced it on Photoshop, which means that nobody can look like us. And this reinforces authenticity while elevating the visual appeal. So when we redesign, and especially for a legacy brand like Neem Face Wash, it's important to stay true to your core and consolidate the assets, right? Taking a higher ground on natural, blending it with clinical validation, and have sharper claims and a greater authority and expertise on pimple claims. What we've also done is not looked at it merely as a functional product. At the end of the day, this is part of the consumer's beauty regimen. So we've tried to enforce a little bit of beauty codes. We've used gold to give it the iconic status as a #1 product. And overall, we've elevated the pack. The back of pack story largely talks about sustainability, ethical sourcing, and brand love. We have about 30 tests done on this product for purity and safety. We use DNA barcoded actives, renewable plant parts so that there's nothing wasted. Our formulation is completely soap-free, made with natural cleansers, and therefore it is safe for her skin, and that's why she loves the product. So, but this story is seldom never told, and we said that let's bring about the purity, care, and conscious story on the back of pack. So it's important for consumers to get an overall picture of the philosophy of the brand, and please keep that in mind when you design packaging. This particularly goes out to all the dear students sitting here. It's important that we keep, the absolute details in mind that add up to the larger story. We've extended these principles to a larger range of products. We're talking to the Gen Z consumer who's now looking at neem sticks and neem patches and serums. So we've applied these very principles and looked at a larger range that they can buy from. Yeah. Premium Ayurveda. It's becoming a rage, right, across the world. It's a significant trend, and consumers are looking for more holistic products, clean beauty. So our design architecture here seamlessly reflects our rich legacy. So we've looked at more regal colors, and that is a reflection of the luxurious products and formulation. The rare and exclusive ingredients are placed in antique bowls and platters, which were normally used in ancient days. So we're reinforcing the Ayurveda authenticity here. The gold foil talks about the premium oils that we use in our products. So it's a thoughtfully created design, and with a compelling story on the pack. We propose and aim to pitch this as the gold standard of Ayurveda. Shilajit resin. Now, Shilajit is a revered ingredient in Ayurveda. It's a secret of strength, resilience, and vitality. And Himalaya is not just a source, but a symbol of purity, power, and timeless wisdom. So the design language, I'll just walk you through this very quickly. Every element on the pack, the cameo focuses on the source, which is 100% pure. Yeah. We talk about the branding of Himalaya, which takes center stage. But the rugged mountain surface that talks about resilience, power, and longevity, and resonates and mirrors the benefits, which is stamina, energy, and power. I'll just walk you through this, given the paucity of time, because I have two lovely films to show you. But overall, I think the emphasis that I'm trying to make is God is in the details, and you have to tell that story visually. It's important. Powered by Swanirmit, built with purpose and driven by values. It's not just about the numbers and the number one status, but it is about ensuring that we care about our environment, care about our people, and care about the communities that we live in. So these are our ESG goals, which are on the website, and you can look it up. But I'd like to take you through two films. And this is the number one brand in baby care. The purpose is very noble. It is every mother should be able to access, afford, and use baby care products for her baby. We've set up baby feeding rooms and pods because every mother deserves dignity while feeding her baby. So from 90 feeding rooms, we've gone up to 700 plus feeding rooms in railway stations, airports, and government hospitals. Can I have the film, please?
नहीं रोते बच्चा, बस 5 मिनट और। हाँ,
घर से दूर जब बच्चा भूखा होता है, क्या आपने भी माँ की आवाज में घबराहट सुनी है? इस घबराहट को हमने सुकून में बदलने की कोशिश की है। पिछले 13 सालों में रेलवे स्टेशंस, हॉस्पिटल्स, एयरपोर्ट्स और कई जगहों पर 500 से ज्यादा सेफ और साफ फीडिंग रूम्स बनाकर, जहां करोड़ों माँओं ने बेझिझक अपने बच्चों की भूख को सुकून से मिटाया है। हर कदम हर माँ के साथ हिमालय बेबी केयर, विशिंग एवरी मदर अ हैप्पी ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग वीक।
Our number one lip care brand, every time you purchase a lip balm from Himalaya, 5 rupees goes towards cleft surgeries. Now, this is a defect that babies have when they're born. So what Himalaya is trying to do is create more awareness about cleft and provide free surgeries for children. And aptly, the campaign is called Muskan, because we wish to bring a smile on every child's face that has cleft. The film, please.
एरी मुनमुन अरे आजा सुन सुन हे तुन एरी मुनमुन हवा के जैसी चुलबुली है उड़ती फिरती बुलबुली है ये ना रुकती बहती कल सबसे आगे सबसे अव्वल अरे आती जाती गाती गुनगुन तुन 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 तुन।
बच्चों, इस जोड़ का उत्तर कौन लिख करके देगा?
सर, मैं।
घर मोहल्ले टोले टप्पर देखते हैं ठहर ठहर कर जैसे कि ये कोई बाहुबली हो सब उठाने पर तुली हो।
मुनमुन उठ जा। चल जल्दी से बाहर आ जा। हाँ,
सुन ए तुन 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 एरी मुनमुन हवा के जैसी चुलबुली है उड़ती फिरती बुलबुली है ये ना रुकती बहती कल कल सबसे आगे सबसे अव्वल अरे आती जाती गाती गुनगुन तुन 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 तुन
Munmun is the first child where we performed this surgery, and the whole film is based on her. I just want to say and end with saying that the most meaningful innovation, it's not the loudest. It is one that earns trust generation after generation. सारे जहाँ से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा और मेरे ख्याल में हिमालय सबसे अच्छा. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, ma'am. Before we end this session, I would just quickly like to ask each one of you a question. Prashant sir, obviously we couldn't touch upon how we manage stress, right? And I think stress is one of the biggest factor to somebody's deteriorating health today. So would you like to please share with us in a short time, if possible, how you manage stress?
Yeah, I'll make it quick. So I think you have to understand the pathophysiology of stress, which essentially whenever you are in a period of stress, your sympathetic nervous system gets an activation, which is your fear and fight response. So body thinks that I am in danger, adrenaline gets produced, cortisol gets produced, which signals the heart, give me all the energy you can. The manifestation of which each one of us can know is whenever you are under stress, you will see your heart rate going up. So whenever you see or you want to know whether you are under stress or not, just focus 10-15 seconds on your heart rate. If your heart rate is very elevated, it means you are in stress. Now what can you do to bring the heart rate down, which is how you are dealing with stress? I think the easiest thing to do is whenever you are in stress, heart rate is increasing, just sit down, don't stand. Because even when you are standing, your heart rate will be elevated. So just sit down, be quiet. Second thing, drink a tall glass of water. You don't need to do anything complicated. And just breathe normally. Whenever we breathe normally, it's a signal for the parasympathetic nervous system to take over, which is rest and repeat, the calm part of it. That's immediately what you can do. If you are in a chronic stress where you go through periods of stress, then it's horses for courses. For some people, breathwork works. For some people, meditation works. For some people, listening to music works. For me, talking to my daughters, when I laugh with them hilariously, kind of works. Gossiping for women. Pick up the phone and start gossiping. The moment you start gossiping, what are you doing? You are laughing. The moment you laugh more, you will see stress coming down. Walk in the nature. Even opening your windows and just looking at trees. Or I live in Bombay, close to a sea. Just going there. So I think multiple ways to do that. Whatever works for you, works for you. The only thing I would recommend people not to do is stress eating. Because that accelerates the stress, because when you eat, your heart has to now do even more work, your heart rate will even more elevate.
Those are some really easy insights that I hope each one of us can follow. Just a follow-up to that, I'm sorry. Obviously you shared a pretty sad tragedy of what happened, and that's what put you on a health journey. And each one of us, I'm sure we all have homes, we have parents who we are telling every day to be healthy, right? So what is it that we can tell them or do for them so that they don't have to face this tragedy, but they get on this path of a healthier life?
Yeah, my ex-boss Rakesh Junjunwala used to say when it came to wealth, that creating wealth is simple, not easy. It's the same with health. It's simple, not easy. Second, like wealth, health is personal. Neither you nor I have the right to tell anybody to get healthy. It's their choice. What we can do, obviously, is show them the trade-offs. My sense is if you give enough right inputs to them, they will change. We want to change their belief. My sense is that all behavior is belief-driven. If you change their belief, their behaviors will change. But the best thing that I do, and that comes to next generation, is my daughters, I don't preach. I practice. you know, Gandhiji had said, be the change you wish to see. If you become healthier and follow a healthier lifestyle, whether it is a generation above you or below you, subconsciously you are inspiring them. So rather than telling, I would say do.
Thank you so much. Very quickly, Padma ma'am, you took us through the journey of how Himalaya innovated for the customers, right? But it's a large organization. There are people at multiple stakeholders at all levels. How do you ensure that this core, this philosophy stays true within the organization for, you know, because each one of us are entrepreneurs. So what can we do within the organization to make sure that the core goes through, percolates till the bottom?
Sure. I don't think our meeting rooms and have only directors. Our culture is very different. We actually go right down to the person who's working on the project, involve that person. That person needs to know what the overall objective is. We hear from them what challenges they're facing. So it's very inclusive. I don't think it's just the top level management that's sitting in meetings and there's a huge disconnect between. So involve your teams, make them a part of the whole project and development. You'll see it moving much faster. And it brings in a lot of speed, lot of agility, and it's a lot of motivation for them.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Rachita,
Thank you.
You can take over now.
The best way to predict the future is to create it. This quote by Peter Drucker perfectly reflects the spirit of this inspiring session. We are grateful to both our speakers for sharing their time, experience, and wisdom with us. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you to our wonderful audience for being such an engaged and attentive group.